Hello everybody, it's football season again. I'm Danny Daniels along with David Johnson, and if you've been around Walton County and have picked up a Walton Tribune this week, you know all about the big rivalry coming up. We'll talk about the Loganville and Monroe area in just a little bit. But first of all, David, out of the 5, 6, 7 teams we covered during the year, in the paper this week, you got an idea of how some of them will do, and of course Monroe area leads the pack, and I don't think anybody can argue with the fact that they got a really good chance to go undefeated.
Oh yeah, they of course they nearly pulled it off last year, except for that last game, which frankly, you know, I can't believe that they really put their best effort in that game. It would be 35-0.
Yeah.
But so yeah, they were 9-1 last year, made it all the way to the state semis, and they pretty much got the same team back this year. So I can't imagine anybody staying within 3 touchdowns of this team. For some reason, I just can't get it out of my head that somehow Loganville's going to pull the upset this week. But if I was a betting man, I'd still go with Purple Hurricanes.
Well, with that Monroe area just out-athletes Loganville, and they've done that in the past, and Eric Godfrey's found a way to win. But, I mean, man, they're loaded.
Yeah, and that's what they said about Gainesville last November, if you remember. And
that's true.
You know, on paper, yeah, you look at this and you think that's probably not even going to be a good game, but that's what we said last November when Loganville took its 2 wins up to Gainesville against the team that went on to win the state championship and is arguably one of the best teams in the state in any classification. Fell behind 21-0 at half, and you know what the rest of the story. They came back and what was probably the upset of the year in the state last year with Loganville beating Gainesville. So they're not going to be intimidated by Monroe. They know they can win a big game. They're going to be at home. So this could really, you know, to me it boils down to, and a lot of the players have said this, that they just won't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
I think Loganville's going to be in the game. The way they'll win this game, I think, is their best defense is going to be a good offense, just controlling the ball, running the ball, running the clock, trying to play keep away from Monroe's offense, because once they get it, they're going to score.
And we've gotten away from the way we sort of planned to start this thing, but Loganville and Monroe has obviously got all the conversation going, and they're going to move Stanton Truitt around a little bit this year. And College is recruiting him as a slot back and a wide receiver, and you're going to see a different quarterback from time to time.
Yeah, he's not going to be just a quarterback. Yeah, he'll be moving around. Of course, Michael Gallup proved last year he's a pretty decent quarterback too.
Mm-hmm.
So they can play musical chairs in that backfield. It doesn't matter where they put anybody. With that offense and the players they have, you know, they can score at any time from anywhere on the field.
All right, in your article and your column this week, you picked the Red Devils to go 5-5, and as Eric Godfrey told me in an interview we did for that story, a 5-5 team in that region equals an 8-2 or 7-3 team somewhere else.
Yeah, that's you know, and that's no knock on Loganville certainly at all. You know, not at all. You know, you've got 2 teams in that region that are ranked in the top 10 coming into the season. One of those is the #1 team in the state, Gainesville. Then you have Flowery Branch, that's good every year.
Yeah.
So right there, you can pretty much cross off the top 2 playoff spots more than likely. Then you have the Clark Centrals, Heritage, you know, teams like that that are going to come in. And so, you know, 5-5 is, you know, doesn't sound that great, but in that region, that's a brutal region to try to navigate.
All right, Walnut Grove with the new head coach, and they may be the mystery team this year. You don't know what to expect. Ben Reeves had a good season, good 6 seasons at Putnam County, and who knows?
Yeah, I think you know that it's been a tough go over there in their 4 years trying to get that football team turned around. This is, you know, well documented. This is their 3rd coach in 4 seasons, but for some reason I just feel like from talking with Ben and seeing what he's done, I think he's going to be the guy that gets things going. He's got a great track record as a coach, as a player. He played under Nick Hyder at Valdosta, you know, one of the best, most famous coaches in the state.
Yeah.
And you know, so I think having his background as a player, his track record as a coach, I think I think Walnut Grove is really finally going to see things turn around there.
And you got to remember they're playing in a tough region too with Monroe area and folks like that, so they could be pretty good and not show on the scoreboard.
Yeah. I think they'll show progress this year. Now, you know, I think I picked them to go 3-7. Doesn't sound like much progress. For a team with 4 varsity wins in 3 years, to pick up 3 this year, and to really get things going, they've just got to build up their numbers, their talent level, and just get going. Get on the roll. And I think they just need some excitement over there, and clearly what Coach Reeves has done in the off season, a lot of different things. He had the Midnight Madness practice. He had the weightlifting exhibition over at the Waffle House. Just a lot of little things like that kind of maybe sound kind of hokey or petty maybe to some people, but that just generates excitement, builds excitement for the program, gets the community going, and I expect good things from him in the coming years.
Never heard of a football midnight madness practice. You hear in basketball all the time, but you got to have enthusiasm if you go win football games, and that's why he's bringing.
Oh yeah, he's definitely doing that. So it should be exciting for the Warriors in the next few years.
Let's talk about George Walton Academy.
Okay. They're going down to FPD, which, on paper, again, this is another team that just looks loaded. They lost a lot of seniors, lost an awful lot of people, but they've got some really solid skill position guys coming back, not the least of which Stanley Williams, of course, they committed to Kentucky, one of the top players in the state. They've got Nick Waters coming back, third-year starter running back. They've got Demetrius Mason, who could be one of the more exciting players in the county this year. He was a freshman receiver last year, and he's really a special athlete. He's going to do a lot. So they've really got a lot of really solid players coming back on paper. May not look like a very good game, but for whatever reason, FPD has always given the Bulldogs fits, even back in their GISA days. They played 15 times, and FPD's won 10 of them. And so last year it was the home opener, season opener for George Walton. They got up by I think three or four touchdowns, and frankly I had my story written halfway through the fourth quarter. I thought the game was over. Next thing you know, FPD's kicking off an onside kick with a minute to go with a chance to win the game. So just a word of advice for you GWA fans that are going down the game: don't leave until the final buzzer, because you just never know with this one.
And a lovely trip it is to Macon too.
Of course, that's right.
All right, Social Circle, Ron Seabury in his second season over there, they struggled to score points and got to figure out a way to not turn the ball over, and that'll generate some touchdowns. But first of all, you got to retain possession.
Yeah, and we said this a lot last year. Social Circle just needs a win. They haven't seen one in 2 years, of course they had the forfeit to Athens Christian last year, but other than that, they haven't 2 years ago. But they haven't won on the field since, and they just need a win. I believe in Ron Seabury. I think he's got things going in the right direction. Their numbers are up. Their enthusiasm, their work ethic, he's really already improved that. And so now it's just a matter of getting enough players in there, and they just need a win sometime. MJ Hester, great running back, great athlete. Interesting, he's kind of a legacy. His dad played for Ron Seabury when Coach Seabury was here, the first time. So hopefully he can have a really good season, and they can hang in there and pick up a win or two. That'd be great for them.
I got a chance to see Loganville Christian Academy last week, and Preston Town's going to join us next week on the show, and hopefully we'll talk to Ben Reeves that we were discussing about with Walnut Grove. But LCA plays some good football down in that league. They got some good players. Their quarterback, Nick Snowden, could probably play at the next level. I don't know if he's a college quarterback, but he's athletic, and it really surprised me a little bit. I've only seen him a couple of times, but they got some good players at that level. I know you don't get to see them at all, but I was impressed with them.
Yeah, they, clearly Coach King, he's got a background. He's got that played at a high level. Knows the game, and when he first stepped in there, it was a tough situation. He was just trying to get the kids to run into each other, trying to get them going and lining up correctly, and he just really came in there from scratch and has really got this team. They're looking like a football team now, and they got a quarterback, they got some really solid athletes. Hopefully next year maybe they'll be jumping into GISA. We'll just see, and that'll be fun to watch. But I think they're ready.
They're defending state champions in the league they're playing in right now. That's going to wrap it up. We'll see you next time. Don't forget a big high school football game this week in your area. Of course, the big one here is Loganville hosting Monroe area. Kickoff time is 7:30. You better get there early.